Now, the very first question in the question paper was question number 2A. From the following information, find out the amount of provision required to be made in the profit and loss account of Lakshmi Commercial Limited for the year ended 31st March 2022. They are giving us advances under which we have standard asset, substandard asset, doubtful asset, up to 1 year, up to 3 years, more than 3 years, and loss asset, and the amounts are given in lakhs. Now, very simple. Okay, always remember whenever you get such kind of question, the very first thing we make the format. Under the format, we note down assets or advances as known as amount, percentage of provision, and provision in rupees. Under assets or advances, I've written standard assets, substandard asset, doubtful up to 1 year, up to 3 years, more than 3 years, and loss assets, and total provision required. Amounts may we have noted down the amounts which they are given us 1200, 440, 180, 135, 60, and 120. Okay. Now remember, in order to solve the sum, you should remember the chart based on provision of NP. Okay, so see, I've just shown you all on the screen, but this you all have to buy out. That won't be shown in the paper, so you need to buy out that. Okay, now very simple. First is standard asset. Standard asset ka rate is given as 0.4%. So I noted down here 0.4 or 0.40%. Okay, very simple. Now the amount is 1200 into 0.40%. You just have to multiply into the percentage. Okay, so 1200 into 0.40% will give you the answer as 4.8. For substandard, okay, nothing is mentioned here. Okay, if nothing is mentioned, we'll take it as secured, which is 15%. So 440 into 15%, we get it as 66. Doubtful up to 1 year, the rate is 25%. So 180 into 25% comes to 45. Up to 3 years, it is 40%. So 135 into 40% multiply, you get the value as 54. Doubtful more than 3 years, it is 100%. So 60 into 100% is 60. And last, loss asset, again anything which is in loss, okay, complete 100%. So 120 into 100% is 120. We add up and that will become nothing but a total provision which has to be made, which comes to 349.8 in lakhs. Okay. So this is how you all had to solve the sum. Was very simple. Just have to know, remember the chart, the table, the provision percentage, multiply with the amount, total it up, and that will be your total provision required. Okay, I hope everyone have understood the sum, how to solve sum which is based on NPA or non-performing asset or based on provision. Okay, this was question number 2A from the paper. Now next, question number 2B. Now this question is based on calculating the rebate on bill discount. Okay, so now here the question reads out as calculate the rebate on bill discounted as on 31st March 2022 from the following data. They're giving you the date of bill, they're giving you the amount, they're giving you the period, they're giving you the rate of discount. Okay, when such kind of question is given, the very first thing we make the table, the format. Okay, so this is the format which you all need to remember. Date of the bill, due date, days after 31st March 2022 because that's the date given to us. Amount of the bill, rate of discount, total annual discount, and lastly we need to calculate the rebate. Okay, step number 1. Note down all the dates which have been given to us. So 15 Jan, 10th Feb, and 25th Feb. Okay, so I've noted down as it is. Now, in order to calculate the due date, remember, in order to calculate your due date, you'll have to take the period ahead. Whatever period they have given you, those many months ahead, you'll have to take plus 3 days grace. That is by default. Okay, so 15 Jan is the date. 5 months period. So we go 5 months ahead of Jan. So Jan, so we'll have Feb, March, April, May, June. Okay, June 15th and 3 days grace. So 16, 17, 18. So we'll have 18th 6 2022. Okay, same way for 10th Feb, 4 months ahead Feb. So March, April, May, June. So June 10 is already there, so 3 days ahead of that. So 13 June. 25th Feb, again 4 months ahead. So that will become June, 25th June, and 3 days grace, 26, 27, 28. So 28 June 2022. That is step number 1, due date. Now we need to calculate the days after 31st March. After March, we have April. April consists of 30 days. After April, May, which is 31 days. And then comes June, which the dates are already given. So 30 plus 31 will be by default. Okay, April and May will be by default. So 30 plus 31, 61 days is by default. 61 plus 18 comes to 79 days. 61 plus 13 comes to 74 days. 61 plus 28 comes to 89 days. Okay, so we got the days which are after 31st March. Amounts of the bill which is already given in the question: 2 lakh 50, 1 lakh 50 and 2 lakhs. The rate of discount is also given in the question: 9%, 12% and 8%. Now, in order to calculate the total annual discount, okay, it is very simple. Amount of bill multiply by the rate of discount. So 2,50,000 into 9%, 2,50,000 into 9%, okay, which comes to 22,500. 1,50,000 into 12% comes to 18,000. 2 lakhs into 8% comes to 16,000. Okay, till here very simple. Now rebate, we just have to apply one simple formula. Rebate on bill discount is equal to total annual discount. So this is this particular amount, total annual discount, into the number of days after the balance sheet date divided by 365. Okay, that's it. So 22,500 into 79 divided by 365 comes to 4870, rounded up. Okay, I've rounded up the values. Next, 18,000 into 74 divided by 365, which comes to 3649. 16,000 into 89 divided by 365 comes to 3901. That's it. Now we add up the total rebate ka column. So 4,870 plus 3,649 plus 3,901. We get a total rebate on bill discounted as rupees 12,420. Okay. So this is how you'll have to solve the question number 2B, that was based on calculating rebate on bill discounted. Okay. So I hope everyone have understood both question number 2A and 2B. 8 marks, 7 marks, total was 15. Now in option to this, there was another 15 mark full-fledged question based on preparing the profit and loss and balance sheet of a banking company. So now let us check that question. So now, or make there was 15 mark ka question, question number 2. The following is the balance sheet of Avishkar Bank Limited. They are giving you all the particulars. And additional they are giving you rebate on bill discounted, create RDD at 12,000 rupees and acceptance on behalf of customer 1,80,000. You are required to prepare profit and loss account for the year ending 31st March 22 and the balance sheet as on that date. Now, whenever you get such kind of question, the very first simple thing what you need to do is note down the format of your balance sheet and your P&L account. Okay, so this is the balance sheet ka format: capital and liability. We underline that. Under that we have share capital, reserves and surplus, deposit, borrowings and other liability. We get a total. On the asset side, cash in hand and in cash with RBI, cash with other bank at short and call notice, investment, advances, fixed asset, other asset. We total it up, and lastly we have contingent liability, under which we can have bills of collection. This is the format of your balance sheet. You should first note down this format. Second, after making the balance sheet format, we need to make the P&L account format, under which we have income, under that interest earned and other income. Then we'll get the total. We have expenses, under that we have interest expended, other expense and provision and contingencies. Total it up. Once we get our income and expense, we subtract, we get the profit of the year. If there is any previous year ka profit, we add, less all the appropriation that will be transferred to reserve, to other reserve, to proposed dividend, and whatever remains will be your balance carry forward to the balance sheet. Okay, so first step, we prepare the balance sheet and income, the P&L account with the scheduled numbers on it. Now, while solving, always start solving the P&L account first. That is from schedule number 3. Because still I don't get this balance sheet ka figure, I cannot, tally my balance sheet. Okay. So first thing what we'll be doing now here is we will be first solving the P&L account. We'll get the profit. Once I get the profit, then I can start with the balance sheet part. Okay. So chalo, let us start solving it. We will first start with the income statement. We will first start with the income statement or P&L account as we call. In P&L account, the very first thing what we need to find is interest earned, that is under schedule 13. Okay. Now from the question, let us check what so these are all income. Income meaning we'll have to look at the credit side. Okay, credit side, check where we can find anything related to interest. Okay, first is share capital cannot come here, statutory reserve note, FD. Okay, now fixed deposit, saving bank deposit, current deposit, these are not my incomes. Okay, interest and discount, yes, I can see this 3 lakhs rupees interest and discount which is given to me. That is related to interest, that's it. Bills payable and commission, they don't come under interest because there's only one interest given here, 3 lakh rupees. So schedule number 13, interest earned, I'll write interest and discount rupees 3 lakhs. Next, once I note down that, check for any rebate. Now I can see here rebate on bill discount. See, this is interest and discount. Always remember, rebate will always be subtracted from the interest earned. There is a rebate of 22,000 which was given in the adjustment. So from the 3 lakh, we will subtract a rebate of 22,000 and we'll get a total amount as 2 lakh 78,000. So always remember, on the credit side, whatever interest is given to us, that is the interest earned, less rebate which will always be given in your adjustment. Okay, so our schedule number 13 interest earn का total comes to 2,78,000. So in our format, we will write schedule 13 2,78,000. Okay, चलो. Now next is other income. For other income, again now we'll have to income is all on the credit side. Okay, so chalo, now let us look at the credit side. See, interest on and discount is already done, so I'll just scrap out that. All these are all my asset side because these are all my deposits and the liabilities and see, these are all my liabilities because share capital and the deposits all comes all on the liabilities. Bills payable is also a liability. So the only income which I can see other income is 50,000 rupees for commission and brokerage. So schedule number 14, I'll write commission and brokerage 50,000 and that is my total because there's only one other income which is given to us. So we take it in a format, schedule 14 50,000. So 2,78,000 plus 50,000 is 3,28,000. That's my total income. Now we will start with the expense part. Under expense, we have schedule number 15, that is interest expended. These are all my expenses. If from the bank point of view, check whatever interest I need to pay. See, interest basically is what? Bank needs to pay interest on fixed deposit, on saving account, and current account. Okay, these are the three basically accounts on which the interest has to be paid by the bank. So let us check what all things are given. See, listen, we have already done with interest and commission. The two things have been crossed out. Now I can see below that interest on FD, interest on saving account, interest on current account. So these are my three things which are given, and these are the expenses on the it's on the debit side. So these are my expenses. So schedule number 15, interest expended. I'll write interest on FD, interest on saving account, and interest on current account. 30,000, 20,000, and 12,000, which comes to 62,000. 30 plus 20, 50 plus 12 is 62,000. Once we get the 62,000, we will substitute this value in the format. So under schedule 15, I will write 62,000. 3,28,000 is already done. That's the income part. Okay, so we noted down 62,000. Next comes with other expenses. Okay, now again, interest is done, commission is done, interest is already done. Now we need to find all other expenses. On the debit side, okay, now cash in and cash in bank is not an expense. Salary, yes. Rent, yes. Postage, yes. Printing, yes. Audit fees, yes. Depreciation, yes. Investment, no. Loan, no. Discount, no. Government bond, furniture, premises, bills payable, no, 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 no. These are none of my expenses. RDD, bill discount, behalf of customer, none of my expenses. So these are my 6 expenses which I can see, which are other than interest related. So schedule number 16, I'll note down all the 6 expenses: salary, rent and insurance, printing and stationery, audit fees, depreciation and postage, with the amount 1,31,000, 4,007, 4, 3,100 and 900. When we total it, it comes to 1,50,000 under schedule 16. Okay. So once I get that 1,50,000, we will now substitute this value in a format. So under schedule 16, we note down 1,50,000. Okay, so these are basically the most important 4 schedules of our in PNL account. Now let us just start to check for any provisions which are given in the question. Now provision meaning if you have kept any reserve, I can see adjustment number 2. Adjustment number 2, create an RDD at rupees 12,000. Now always remember, RDD, whenever provision has been created for RDD, it will always come under provision and contingency, which is 12,000. We add up all the expenses, 62,000 plus 1,50,000 plus 12,000, it comes to 2,24,000. Profit, Income minus expense, 3,28,000 minus 2,24,000. We get the value as 1,04,000 rupees. There is no other profits of the last year because we read we didn't get any of them, so that's nil. So my total profit for the current year is 1,04,000. Okay. Now listen to this very carefully. Once you get this amount, check if there is anything related to statutory reserve that we need to transfer. If nothing is mentioned, okay. Again, I repeat, if nothing is mentioned, we always transfer 25% of our profit to our statutory reserve, and the remaining will go and and it will be known as balance carry forward to the balance sheet. So 1,04,000 ka we will take 25% and we will call it as transfer to statutory reserve. Sometimes they will give you the percentage, then take that percentage. Nothing is mentioned, always transfer 25%. So 1,04,000 into 25% comes to 26,000. So 1,04,000 minus 26,000, that is the appropriation, will give you your balance carry forward to the balance sheet, which comes to 78,000. Okay. So with this, we are able to complete the entire profit and loss account. Remember these two values, 26,000 and 78,000. We have to use these two values in our balance sheet now. Okay. So once we are done with this, now we will jump to our balance sheet. Okay. Balance sheet has schedule 1 to 12. Okay. First schedule will be based on share capital. Now share capital, they are directly giving you the value of 3 lakhs and nothing else is given related to share capital. So we will note down. Okay, schedule number 1. Okay, there's no authorized capital, so that's nil. Share capital 3 lakh, total comes to 3 lakh because that's only one value. So in our balance sheet, schedule number 1, we have noted down 3 lakhs. Second is reserve and surplus, very important. Now under reserves and surplus, okay, listen to this very carefully. Okay, under reserve and surplus, what all things have been given? See, there is one statutory reserve of 4 lakhs given to us. Number 1. Second, we have already transferred 25% in the previous step. Okay, 25% to statutory reserve, which came to around 26,000. And current year the profit was 76,000. Sorry, 78,000. Okay, see, I'll just show you. I'll just go in reverse. I'll just show you. This is the value which I'm talking about. Statutory reserve and the profit which we have transferred. Okay, 26 and 78,000. Okay, so reserve and surplus, just check our format. Statutory reserve is 4 lakhs. So we noted down statutory reserve 4 lakhs. Add any addition which were made to statutory fund, which was 26,000, and profit and loss account, which we found out 78,000. Total comes to 5,04,000 rupees. So once we got the value, we will transfer it on our schedule number 2, 5,04,000. Okay, next is deposits. Deposits, I can see here fixed deposit, saving deposit, and current deposits. Okay, 3 deposits are there. So under deposit, FD, fixed deposit, saving deposit, and current deposit, 2,78,000, 4,50,000, and 3,74. Total come to 11,02,000. Okay, so under schedule number 3, 11,02,000 has been posted. Next is borrowings. Now, if you look carefully, see on the liability side, share capital is done, statutory reserves is done, FD, saving deposit, current deposit, interest, commission, all of them are done, and there's only bills payable. Now, bill payable comes under other liabilities. So there is no other borrowings given in this question. So under our borrowings schedule, we have nil. So there is no borrowing. Next is other liabilities. So other liabilities, my bills payable is there because we just now found there was one bills payable pending. And other than bills payable, always remember under other liabilities and provision, we have one more provision, that is bill discounted. Okay, whatever bill has been discounted, okay, it will first get minus on the interest side. Okay, and secondly, it will always be shown on the liability side or other liabilities and provision. So in our schedule number 5, we have rebate on bill discount 22,000 and bills payable 24,000. Total comes to 46,000. So 46,000 we noted down on our schedule. Once you note it down, we add up all the liability side. So 3 lakh plus 5 lakh 4,000 plus 11 lakh 2,000 plus 46,000 comes to 19 lakhs 52,000. A very prominent figure. Okay. Chalo. Now with this, our liability is done. Now we jump to our asset side. Under our asset, we have cash in hand and cash at RBI. So let us look at that. I can see here cash in hand and cash at RBI. So two things are given. We need both those values. So schedule number 6, cash with RBI, cash in hand 420, 290, total comes to 7,10,000. 7,10,000, we'll put it in our format. Okay. Sorry, we'll put it in our format 7,10,000, schedule number 6. Okay. Now we have next cash with other bank and money at short call notice. Okay, now if I look carefully, see, share capital is done, statutory reserve, FD, saving, deposit, cash in hand, cash at bank, interest, commission, interest on FD, saving, current, salary, rent, printing, postage, audit, debt, everything is done. Now next, investment, loan, cash credit, overdraft, bill discounted, government bonds, furniture, premises, and bills payable. These are the only values which are remaining. Okay, so now under I couldn't find anywhere short call notice or anything is given. So under schedule 7, nothing is given, nil. So we are written on nil. Next is investment. Now investment, I can see investment in shares and government bonds. So there are two investment. Schedule number 8, we have investment in shares and investment in government bond. 1 lakh 60 84, total comes to 2 lakh 44,000. We will substitute this 2 lakh 44 in our investment schedule number 8, which is 2 lakh 44,000. Okay. The next thing now what we need to note down is our advances. Now let us check what all advances are given. See, I can see your loan is given, bill discounted is given, and remember from loan from advances the create RDD, whatever doubtful debts were created, that will always get subtracted. Okay, so loan and cash credit, that is 4 lakh 90,000, bill discounted and purchase 1 lakh 80, less reserve for doubtful debt 12,000. Always remember it will be less, the reserve will get less from schedule 9. The total comes to 6 lakh 58,000. So once we have got 6 lakh 58,000, okay, we will post it in our advance ka column mein. Okay, 6 lakh 58,000. Next comes the fixed asset. Under that I can see furniture, I can see premises. There are two fixed assets mentioned here. So schedule number 10, we'll have premises furniture 3 lakh 40. So total comes to 3 lakh 40,000. Noted down in schedule 10. Now other assets mein, let us check what all is pending now. Okay. Share capital, reserve, FD, saving, current, cash, interest, commission, interest. All my expenses were posted. Okay. The next was investment done, loan done, government bond, furniture, premises, bills payable. Everything is done. So there is no other assets which are pending. So our other asset schedule will become nil. So now we total up all the asset side, 7 lakh 10 plus 2 lakh 44,000 plus 658 plus 3 lakh 40 comes to 19 lakh 52,000, which is tallying with our liability side. Okay, now last thing, contingent liability, that is bill for collection, adjustment number 3, 1 lakh 80,000 will be posted out. Okay, which doesn't get into the total part. So with this, our entire balance sheet has tallied 19 lakh 52,000 on either side of your liabilities and assets. So this is how you all had to solve the question number 2, where they asked you to prepare the profit and loss account. Okay, and the balance sheet. Now the sum is simple. The only thing is you need to remember the format and the posting under which each schedule what all things appear. Okay, chalo. With that, we were able to solve the entire question number 2 of the question paper. I hope everyone have understood it. With that, we will be ending this video here. Thank you.